Welcome to the red half of Sheffield. Back to probably preview another loss, and I am joined by another familiar face. The Boleyn Boys podcast joins us again, and same as the previous time of recording, he's in his vehicle again. How are you doing today, buddy?
Yes, no, well, I'll make no apologies, but always working. So just take a little bit of time out here to preview the game along with yourself. But yeah, no, all good, mate. Obviously, West Ham are going quite well, so I'm
Yeah.
very happy. But how are you?
Oh, not bad, not bad. I think we only got about 16 odd games until we're finally out of this godforsaken league. Um, let's let's get into it. Sum up the last, I don't know, bit of run. I mean, we're coming off the back of the festive fixture time. How have West Ham been getting on? I mean, you said they're in a good bit of form. Give the viewers a little bit of a backstory of West Ham's season so far. I mean, I wouldn't even do the season. I just do the last five or so games.
Yeah, no, very happy. I mean, just like if you touch on the season quickly, obviously we was knocking about in. It seemed like ninth for a long time. There was a little bit of a gap between us and those above and those below. And then all of a sudden, throughout December, in a time where we faced Tottenham, Wolves, Man U, Arsenal, Brighton was at the start of the year, but it was alongside those fixtures. You're looking at us thinking this is probably going to tell us a lot about where our season's going to go. And remarkably, we beat Tottenham away, we beat Arsenal away, we beat Man U at home, we beat Wolves at home, and we managed to nick a point with Brighton as well. I say nick a point. We had a couple of injuries that game, so I think we was probably happy to take a point. The performance was not good, um, but then the performances Wolves at home, I thought we was fantastic. Tottenham away, there's a big Moyes in and out debate, and a lot of it surrounds the performances. I don't actually think it surrounds results because you can't complain with where we are, but that Tottenham game, we could have been 4-0 down at half time. As it was only one, and then we managed to turn it around in the second half. Arsenal, we was brilliant. Like it was a brilliant away performance to a club like that. And I thought Man U again, it was probably a flat performance, but they managed to get the result. So um, yeah, we've been. It's David Moyes doing David Moyes things.
Yeah.
Like it's a strange one. Like because I'm not sitting here thinking we've been incredible at all, but he's managed to get us through this busy period. I mean, we had that dreadful result at Anfield, which I'm still not over and I'm still angry about. It felt like Moyes sort of let the game go a little bit by putting out that team. But then if we're talking about the league solely, he, he's doing fantastically well. So I've got nothing to complain about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wish, I just wish we could do at least half of what you guys are doing. But
Chad, you're so sad.
I mean, it's, I don't know how to. I mean, I don't know how to spin it into a positive light. It's just our team sucks. We're not good enough at this level, and it's so unfair. I just watched prior to record or coming on to record. I was watching all the build up to Aston Villa Everton, and they had one of their uh, one of the Premier League like writers or whatnot. They were interviewing him, and they were talking about this new PSR, which is I guess going to replace financial fair play in the Premier League.
Yeah,
And Nottingham Forest and Everton are going to get nailed. Well, it seems like they're going to get charged with whatever's going to happen, and it
yeah.
all happens to come down to spending. And it's like, man, I just wish we could spend, but we don't have an owner. We're never going to have an owner that's going to spend to keep us in this league. And it's just when we kicked off at the beginning of the season, you're just like 38 games. There's 38 free hits, and yeah, it's going to drag a fan base down, and it almost gets hard to watch the games because you go into it and it's like, we beat Jills in the third round of the FA Cup and they get drawn against Brighton. You're like, well, there's when the cup run ends. I mean, you're going to get we'll get beat by Brighton in 2 weeks. And it's just like, we're only going to get one win in 2024 the rest of this season. And it was last weekend. We'll lose the rest of them. I take that back. We'll sneak up and beat like Man City or something 2-0 and just like, oh my God, there's hope again. And then we'll lose to Burnley or somebody like that. And the funny thing is they're not even considering us for a relegation push. They're talking more about Burnley and Luton than Sheffield United. But back to next Sunday's game, which oddly enough I thought it was Saturday, but we're the early kickoff on Sunday.
That's it,
Who give us a couple players to look out for that are inevitably going to turn United over?
I mean, you say turn you lot over. I don't think it's going to be. I personally don't think it's going to be as an easy game as you're making it out to be. I think it's going to be a rubbish game to watch. I'll be honest. I mean, our players to watch. I mean, Kudus has just gone off to the AFCON, which is a big blow. I mean, he's been fantastic lately. Bowen, he's injured. I think at best he's going to miss the Sheffield United game. So again, that's a big blow. And then Paqueta as well. From what I've seen, he's ruled out for anywhere between 4 to 8 weeks. So that's our front three gone. And the argument lately surrounding the West Ham team, and especially with Moyes, is that he sort of runs the 11 we've got into the ground. I mean, not necessarily like literally, but I personally think he needs to manage the squad better. I feel like he does use the same 11 a lot, which is fine if you're winning. But my problem is when we are giving other minutes to other players, I feel like there's times where they could have seen more minutes, but for whatever reason, Moyes hasn't wanted to do that. So when these players now come in like they're going to have to against Sheffield United, everyone complains they're rusty, they're lacking this, they're lacking that, because they've seen no game time. We're 20 games into a season, and some of these players have barely played 500, 600, 700 minutes of football.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So then you're asking them to come straight in and pick up where someone like Kudus, Bowen, and Paqueta has left off. It ain't going to happen. He's been forced into it through the injuries, through AFCON, and now we're probably going to unless we get our arse in gear and bring in some new signings relatively quickly, we're probably going to end up starting, I'd say, like a Fornals, maybe even Mabama might get a start, and Benrahma. I mean, Antonio's still injured, so he had a setback in training, so we ain't going to see him either. So you're going on like as if we're just going to come in and turn Sheffield United over. It ain't going to be that sort of game. If we had our front three, I'd be highly confident, but they make such a big difference to us. I'm still confident. Like if we're up in 6, and if we want to be challenging for where we are right now, the squad has to start acting and playing like a team that's challenging at the top of the table. For that to happen, we shouldn't have no problems. But you can see over recent weeks when these players have come in, they've not been great. So then all 3 of them to come in at the same time, it's going to go one way or the other, in my opinion. I think they'll step up to the plate, or they're all going to go into hiding, and we're going to struggle for the next few weeks for sure.
Yeah. One thing before we get to match predictions, you bring up David Moyes. Is it one of those situations where it's starting to almost split the supporters in half? Moyes in, Moyes out. No,
it's been like that for years. Ever since he came, that there has been a split over Moyes. Ever since he came, I mean, I've been one of them. I've been Moyes in, Moyes out. I've been Moyes in, Moyes out more than Yoki Koki. Like I've been very split on him, but you can't deny what he's done. He's transformed West Ham United Football Club. We are now a team and a fan base that, and rightly so, expectations rise. We expect us to be where, like, I expect us to be where we are right now. I
Yeah.
expect that level of performance from West Ham United, and that is all because of David Moyes. So fair play to him. His style of football, when it works, it's great to watch because all I care about is West Ham winning. When it doesn't work, it is horrendous
Mhm.
because you just don't see any of the ball. Like that first half performance against Tottenham, what, 6 weeks ago now, one of the worst performances you will see from from supposedly a top six Premier League side. All
Yeah.
we done was sat on at the edge of our box, let them have the ball, let them have chance after chance, and like I say, on any other day, that would have been 3 or 4 nil at half time, and that game would have been over. But then the second half comes out, and it showed like that game showed West Ham under David Moyes.
Yeah.
Like the first half, where that's your Moyes, everyone who's Moyes out is going, look at this, look at what we're putting up with.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. It doesn't fill you with any hope. And then the second half is like the Moyes in lot who are like, well, look, we've managed to stay in the game, and then we've got to nick 2 goals, and we've won a game. But the way David Moyes plays football, he's such a pragmatic, and it comes along with pessimism that, as a West Ham fan under Moyes, like me personally, I never go into a game thinking like I don't think we're going to go and smash Sheffield United, not for a
Mhm.
minute, not at all. And because of the way he plays football, you're 9 times out of 10 you're waiting until you concede a goal
Yeah.
rather than go and score a goal. And I think this is the problem. And this year, especially defensively, we've been really poor. The last few weeks, obviously, we've sorted that out, and it's shown in our league position, and that we've shot up the table a little bit. It's a really, really strange. I mean, I'm happy. Like, listen, I'm completely happy. I'm
Mhm.
happy to back Moyes. All of his transfers, 9 out of 10, his recruitment is fantastic. That's been his way throughout his whole management career, from Preston all the way to now. His recruitment is very good. Um, but his style of football leaves you. It's really strange because we are sixth, and I think we deserve to be sixth,
Mhm.
and I expect to be sixth. But we go into every game not really full of confidence. I think that's a problem, and that's down to the way he sets up. But it's an effective way of getting results. Clearly, he's finished sixth, seventh, and won a European trophy, and he's back in sixth now.
Yeah. It's certainly an interesting uh, way to look at it because West Ham, and I said this on the last time we recorded the West Ham game. It's it's almost like you guys will finish one year, you'll finish sixth, and then the next year you'll drop down to 17th and be circling the drain like, oh, West Ham, are they going to go down? Are they going to go down? And then they, as it gets closer to the end of the season, then you pick up that form and you end up finishing like 12th or 10th or something. But it's like it's hot or cold, hot or cold, hot or cold. I feel like Moyes, not even just at West Ham, but when he was at United and all that stuff, it was, you know, you Man United were too big of a club for him, but I feel like he's because of all the pressure that's on it, Man United. I think it fits him well to be at West Ham right now. I think it that when you look at a team and their manager, I think that's a good that's a good almost relationship. You're always gonna have the naysayers and the people that want him out on the first bad result. But I mean, that's why I think this league needs to have tenure at managers instead of turning them over every 6 months. There's no
Yeah,
sense to having managers there for 6 months. They can't install their players and their tactics and all that if they come straight in and they're under pressure. If you let them do their thing for a couple of years and it still sucks, yeah, can his ass. I agree, but don't don't go so quick on the trigger to be like, all right, we got to pull him because we're dropping down the league. I just think some teams in this league they just don't understand that. So
Sorry,
back to
just on that, I just think talking about Moyes, but like a good example is that the game we previewed last time when it was at the London Stadium. I mean, at the time, you guys were in incredibly bad form, and you were taking a battering here, there, and everywhere. And then you come to West Ham, and like we struggled to get past you. I mean, we're fine. We've ended up winning the game. We all expected to win the game, but for me, I expected to put on a bit of a show where we showed Sheffield United the difference in levels between playing in the Championship and playing in the Premier League. And Sheffield United, they set up to defend and they put men behind the ball, and we struggled to break down. And that is when West Ham can get quite frustrating with the way he plays, because we should be able to play Sheffield United at home. And I know every game's hard in the Premier League, but it feels we're constantly struggling.
Yeah.
No matter who we play, whether it's Luton, Burnley, Sheffield United, when we go away to a team like Arsenal, we know we're going to struggle. But we're at such a level now that, like, I don't know, if Aston Villa or Tottenham came to hosted you guys, I imagine, like, I know you've had a couple of good results in that, but 9 times out of 10, Sheffield United will be shown who's the boss. I know at Tottenham, like, they struggle to get past you. But if you go elsewhere throughout the course of the season, the majority of the time, Sheffield United are going to be on the back foot and they're going to get shown a footballing lesson. But my point is, West Ham never do it. So fine, Tottenham didn't do it to Sheffield United, but throughout the course of the season, Tottenham will do it to teams. West Ham never teach someone a footballing lesson. Everything's always a struggle. We struggle against the bottom clubs and we struggle to win against the top clubs. It's always a struggle. And I think this is where West Ham fans get frustrated. And this is where the pessimism comes in.
Yeah.
Because we're never that team who's going to go and win 3-4-5-0 a few weeks on the bats and show teams out. It just constantly seems like a struggle. And I think that's where West Ham fans get a little bit irate, because it always feels like we're on the back foot. But like I said earlier, like, the results he gets are effective, and clearly we're sitting in 6th.
Yeah, that's true. And this is a results-based industry. So back to Sunday. What is it going to be? You're leaning towards more of a tight affair. It is at Bramall Lane, so I think that does keep the scoring down.
Yeah.
What's your score prediction?
I mean, going on what I've just said, like, Moyes will set up well, and the players who are coming in, they will know they're coming in and they've got a job to do. And if they want to keep their place, then they have to take advantage, especially of a game like this. I think West Ham will edge it. Maybe 1-0, 2-1. But I just don't think we're going to blow you away at all. And if we want to carry on, like I say, if we want to carry on in going up the league and getting away from them teams below us, then it's just a game we have to win. Like, there's absolutely no two ways about it. We have to beat Sheffield United, whether it's home or away. But I just don't think we're going to blow you away at all. I do think we win, but I think it will be an extremely tight game.
No, I'm right there with you. I do think you guys win. I don't think because one, like I said, since Wilder has taken over, we haven't really got battered. The fact this is at Bramall Lane probably keeps the scoring down, as I alluded to. I think I'm right there with you, like a 2-1, a 1-0. We just don't score goals is the whole thing. Hopefully we put 4 past Gilles last week in the cup. Hopefully that transitions over into league play, but I doubt it. Yeah, I think it's 1-0 to 2-1. West Ham do win this game because, as you alluded to, you have more, in essence, to play for. Yeah, we're playing to get out of the relegation zone, but that's not going to, let's be realistic, that's not going to happen. So, yeah, I think on the day you guys end up pulling.
Well, I think it's a strange game as well, because both teams, it's a funny one, because obviously you guys have to start winning. Like, drawing is no good anymore. You have to start winning. So at some point you're going to have to attack West Ham And obviously, West Ham are in a position where we have to beat Sheffield United.
Mm-hmm.
But both teams like to sit back and defend.
Mm-hmm.
So, and again, this is what I was going on about earlier in terms of when West Ham should be on the front foot, when we expect us to be on the front foot, like we don't actually know what to do with the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where I think, again, the West Ham Moyes in and out thing comes from, because there are times we expect us to be on the front foot and to be able to play with the ball, but such is the way Moyes plays football, we're a better team without the ball, and that's fine. But then when it comes to a game like this, when no one wants the ball,
Mm-hmm.
this is where, like, this is where you find the problem, because then the flip side of that is Burnley. Burnley obviously want to play with the ball, but they're just simply not as good as what a Man City are, so they're struggling with it. But Sheffield United and West Ham play a similar type of football. They want to counter attack, so it'd be interesting alone. That alone, just to see where it goes, and I think that's what made the game at the London Stadium so scrappy.
Yeah.
Because even though we was at home and we was playing a Sheffield United team like ultra low on confidence, when we're a team who's got the ball, we don't really know what to do with it. And for a team to be in that position when we're sixth, seventh, fighting around European competition, around those places, I think that's what a lot of fans don't like. And it'll be a prime example next Sunday when we're probably expected to see a lot of the ball. We actually don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be the same for Sheffield as well.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. Before we get out of here, plug all the social medias and where they can find you on the interweb if they want to.
So just at the _ Boleyn Boys. That's all I'm on at the minute. Just floating about on Twitter.
Okay.
Or X, as they call it now.
Whatever it's called. If you haven't done so and you're watching this, I don't know how you haven't subscribed to the Red Half Sheffield on YouTube, at Red Sheffield on Twitter /X. We're on Facebook, the Red Half of Sheffield. I think we're on Instagram too. Until next week when I preview probably another United defeat, I will leave you with this: up the blades.